Hello everyone, Alien Volt here, and I am playing Evolve, and this is my first impressions of the game in the alpha state that it is currently in. Let's check it out. Alright, Evolve is kind of a co-op game, but it's a player versus player, where you play as either the monster facing a group of 4 people, or you play as the group of 4 facing the monster. And this is made by Turtle Rock, as you've seen there. The group that is actually making this is a studio that actually produced Left 4 Dead, which was a phenomenal success. Let's get started. You get to rearrange your classes as you want to play. So Assault, Trapper, Medic, Support, and Monster. And you place them in the order by moving them around here. And then once you're happy with the order of what you want to play during that round, you select that. And so it tries to find you a game where you actually get to play your primary choice. Of course, there's a possibility you might get the second or third choice, but I seriously doubt you're ever going to get the 5th choice unless there's just no one playing. Alright. Another thing here, you'll notice that there are weapons, and there's actually a way to choose different characters once you unlock them, as well as these perks. And at this point, I've unlocked 3 different perks, so you select the one that you think's going to suit your class better, or your playstyle. Now here are the first 4 characters that are basically unlocked with the game. As you see here in this picture, 2 of them are going to get replaced with additional characters that these people who are playing them have actually unlocked. Alright, I should start off by saying this game is actually designed on the Crytek engine, the same as Crysis 3, and probably an updated version of that as well. I'm sure it's not the exact same engine Crysis 3 used. And the graphics do look very, very good. In fact, I think I was blown away by what my expectations were. I didn't really expect the graphics to be this good when I actually started up the game. They've just done a really, really good job with this. The handling, the game mechanics so far are really good. They're spot on. I don't really have any complaints with that whatsoever. They've only allowed us to play on 1 map for this alpha test, which is unfortunate. I'd love to see other maps. I know a lot of people are skeptical right now with the fact that they think that the game's going to get repetitive, but I don't think that's really the case. So far, with the multiple perks that you can select, the multiple classes that you're unlocking, as well as the monsters you'll be fighting and playing, I think that it's going to actually turn out to be something really, really good. And that is if they can continue to produce multiple choices. I mean, they're going to have enough maps in the game when it's launched, as well as enough characters for each class, as well as the monsters, to really give you a large variety to play. And if they can do that, I think this game is going to be very, very successful. I mean, let's face it, their formula for Left 4 Dead was a smashing success. A game that was released in 2008 is still played today. I mean, you can jump online and get a match almost instantly. So my expectations for this game are pretty high. Now that I've actually seen it and got a chance to play it, I really expect them to do really well. Even though we've only seen the 1 map right now, at launch there's supposed to be a total of 12 maps, as well as 12 characters. So with 4 classes, you're looking at 3 different characters per class, as well as 3 monsters. Right now, we know that there is the Kraken, which people feel were overpowered for this alpha test. And I don't know if that's the case. You might just have to learn a new style of fighting them. But I actually haven't seen them, so I couldn't tell you firsthand. I have seen videos of people playing him, and they lost. So, I don't know how overpowered he actually is. But they may have made him overpowered for this release because he seemed to be underpowered for the last one. And then there's Goliath, which is the only monster that I've actually faced during this this alpha test. Now the last, or the new monster, the third one that's going to be released with the expansion, is still somewhat of a mystery. I know if you pre-order the game, you get a different skin for Goliath, which is actually pretty cool. But they haven't really announced what monster it's going to be. With the Kraken, you get abilities like Lightning Strike, Banshee Mines, Aftershock, and Vortex. Most of his abilities are all ranged. Like Lightning Strike is a devastating range blast that never needs to strike twice, so apparently it's very powerful. Banshee Mines are charged orbs that attach to nearby foes and deal explosive damage. Aftershock emits an electrical burst that changes electricity to nearby foes. And Vortex is a moving wall of elemental energy that knocks back enemies from afar. So he's basically a ranged combatant. Whereas Goliath is your melee combatant. He has Fire Breath, which splits a jet of liquid flame that does damage to hunters for a short period of time. Basically puts a dot on them. Leap Smash, devastating jump that deals smash damage when Goliath lands. Rock Throw, rip a huge boulder from the ground and launch it at an enemy. And Charge, rush forward at high speed, causing damage and a knockback. And as you will see in even this game footage, he does a ton of damage and can easily kill people. Now for the hunters, we actually know 8 of the 12 that are going to be released. For Assault, we have Hyde and Markov. With Hyde, you get a flamethrower, a minigun, a toxic grenade that keeps the hurt on long after it explodes, so it's got a dot on it, and then a personal shield that temporarily soaks up damage. With Markov, you get a lightning gun, which is more of a close range ability that can spread to like an AoE damage. Assault rifle, that's your long range weapon. Arc mines that you can throw down to basically do burst damage if he runs over the traps. And then of course the personal shield. As far as the trappers, I think this is one of the most important classes, probably next to the healer. The trappers are basically the ones that set the traps for the monster and contain them. And without containing them, it's nothing but a chase. And the amount of time that it would take to do the damage on the chase, you would never actually be able to kill the monster until he actually morphs out and then comes looking for you to kill you. Otherwise, you just be constantly running after him and never actually get to engage in battle. So your trapper is extremely important. Now with the trapper, you get Maggie, which has a machine pistol, and apparently it's got quite a burst on it. The shot pattern's pretty spread out, but it still does a lot of damage. You also get harpoon traps.
That's what I'm doing.
Which you place in the ground, and basically as he runs by, they snag onto him and hold him in place, which allows you to do more damage and keeps him from running away. You get a pet called Trapjaw, which not only tracks the monster, but also can revive your human companions, your other hunters. And then of course the mobile arena, which is your huge trap that keeps the monster from being able to get away. The other trapper is Griffin.
Okay, now he's closer.
And with Griffin, you get a Gauss SMG that's best for dealing with the planet's lesser predators. So it probably does a lot of damage up close. Your harpoon gun, which fires an energy harpoon that immobilizes the monster, which is really good.
Yeah, same here.
sound spikes, which stalk the monster with these remote sensors instead of the pet. So rather than sniffing the footprints, you get a remote sensor that flies around and finds the monster. And from what I've seen, it works very well, maybe even better than the pet. Mobile Arena, which of course is the same as Maggie's, and that's one of the most important parts, is locking him down so that way he can't escape and he has no choice but to do battle. Alright, moving on to the medic class. Right now we know of Lazarus and Val. Of course you start off with Val. Lazarus is someone who you end up unlocking. With Lazarus, you get a silent sniper rifle. So it's a semi-automatic rifle that creates weak points in the monster's armor. Useful. You get Lazarus' device, slightly illegal device that instantly revives dead comrades. That's pretty nice. Because anyone can aid someone. Like if you're down, anyone can run up to you and help get you back up on your feet.
Make sure to cover the
but
area,
only the medics can actually revive you if you're dead. Then they get a personal cloak, which temporarily grants invisibility and allows Lazarus to sneak past threats. So if he lives, you know, your whole team can essentially live and get away. And then Healing Burst, short bursts of rejuvenating energy that heals Lazarus and nearby allies. Valve's loadout is armor-piercing sniper rifle, punches hole in armor creating weak points, so very similar to Lazarus. A med gun that fires rejuvenating ray that constantly heals teammates, so a little bit different type of a heal. A tranquilizer gun that slows the monster and tags it for easier kills, very useful. And then a healing burst, short burst of energy.
You can only put down 5 mines.
That acts as like a lesser heal.
Got him. Yeah,
but one important aspect to point out here is she does not have a revive for dead teammates. The last class I'm going to talk about is support. And the 2 options for support right now that are known are Bucket and Hank. You start with Hank, Bucket's an upgrade. Alright, with Hank, you get a laser cutter, which is a cannon that rapidly fires a volley of laser bolts. A shield protector, which basically targets an ally and protects the hunter from the attacks of the monster. Just puts a little shield around them as long as it's channeled though. It's not like it's something you put on them like a bubble and it stays on them. You have to continuously channel it. There's an orbital barrage, which basically summons a massive bombardment of an area, which is awesome. I mean, it's like a huge burst damage. And then there's a cloaking field that grants temporary invisibility to Hank and all nearby allies, which is pretty cool. With Bucket, you get guided missile launcher, which, you know, is pretty self-explanatory. It's a little device that basically guides missiles to the monster. Multiple floating weapon platforms deploy from Bucket's chest. They're sentry guns. And then a UAV, Bucket's detachable head, recons the area and tags the monster if he spots it. So, pretty good. And he gets the cloaking field as well. Alright, so what are my final thoughts? I think the game looks definitely next generation. I think it plays very well. I think it has a lot of potential. As long as they continue to release DLC that's going to expand upon the actual content of the game, I think it's definitely worth the price tag of $59. I know some people are going to argue that it's not. I think it is. And I'm definitely looking forward to it. I will be pre-ordering this game. I hope you enjoy the video, and I will see you next time.